Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. Hey, Stuart here. Welcome to our Sawback Circuit video. And if you've watched any of our videos, you're thinking to yourself, why is he in his office? Well, quick, simple answer that I alluded to in the comments section of our midsummer update. We had a GoPro SD card meltdown as we were transferring our Sawback videos over and managed to recover everything except the first few clips of day one. So don't press the escape button just yet, because you'll see that exact section of trail on day 7. You really aren't going to miss anything. In fact, we arrive in camp on day 1, and from that point forward, everything's great. So you'll actually see camp on day 1 and all that kind of stuff. So Sawback Circuit, hike number 2 of our Plan B hikes, if we could not hike the North Boundary Trail. Also covered that in our midsummer update, so I won't bore you here with those details, other than to say water levels were too high, and we had to do Brazeau Loop and Sawback Circuit. The reason we are starting this hike at the Cascade Amphitheatre Trailhead and not Moose Meadows is because when we rebooked everything for Plan B, we decided to do Brazeau first because we were already in Jasper, drive down to Banff, and then do Sawback. So I had to actually rebook that hike, and we couldn't start at Moose Meadows. So we did miss the ink pots. Sorry. This actually lengthened the hike for us, though, and got us to almost the 180 kilometer mark when you combine Brazeau and our own Sawback Circuit. It was a great hike. You're going to love it. Again, we start day 1 as we arrive in camp, and the only thing you've missed is about 30 piles of fresh bear poop on the trail from Mount Norquay into Mystic Junction campsite. So other than that, you'll see the entire trail in reverse on day 7, and everything else is there. So let's find out, how's the hike on our Sawback Circuit?
We found the outhouse.
Well, it's always a good sign when you see the outhouse.
Oh, and it's not one like a...
No, it's not the Jasper kind. It's actually an old outhouse, which is nice.
Okay.
Here we are, Mystic Junction. So let's go in and find a tent pad and claim it. And then I'll bring you out. Evelyn, would you mind moving for the camera? Thank you. Yeah, so I see. We're gonna have to look at this after and figure out which way to go in the morning. Well, we made it. Find a good spot to pitch our tent and enjoy the evening. We're all set up just in the nick of time because then it rained. Pad number 2. And let me be a quick tour back here while we can. All the pads are over this side. If you come in and you see the outhouse to your left, just keep going because all the tent pads are over that way except for number 1, which you'll see down here as I walk by. There are folks in it. A quick tour here. So heading down to where the water source. Food prep area, there's your outhouse. So again, when you come in, all the tent pads are back there, except for number 1. Busy spot tonight, Saturday night, which is good. He dips in here, grabs their water, and then the food storage and food prep area is way over here, and I mean way over here. I've never seen them this far apart. Maybe it's the topography of the campsite, or maybe it's because this is bare land. As you saw on the trail today, I mean, listen, I stopped videoing every Bear Scat pile. We probably saw somewhere between 25 and 30 separate piles of Bear Scat, and I'm not exaggerating in any way. It was everywhere. So, yep, I'm just going to show you this because if you're coming out to do the Sawback Circuit and you stop at Mystic Junction, you will hoof it over here. There we go, starts to open up. Beautiful communal picnic table and fire pit area and the bear hangs. long way from back there. So this is what it's come to. We're getting tired of all the prepackaged food.
I can't do it anymore.
Evelyn and I are having some mashed potatoes with little pepperonis.
Reminds me of my grandfather. Not his dad, my mom's dad. Who's really Italian.
You would never eat that, ever. Unless you were out here. And Olivia's got some Nutella and wraps. And just for fun, put some gummy bears on top. We spent our day at IGA in Banff yesterday finding how can we make this hike a little less monotonous
So I have gummy
with
bears.
the food. Yeah.
I have a whole packet of Sour Patch Kids. I have a Care Milk bar. Olivia has brownies and everything she just said double. Everything I just said, and a Dairy Milk bar. So, you know, we're kind of living our best life. And like a bunch of ramen. Yeah, so much ramen.
And later, and you probably won't see this because there's lots of people here, I'm going to be trying this new Backpackers Pantry veggie lasagna. A lot of the guys in Banff who hike say it's their new favorite, so hopefully it is. Anyway, just a little pre-dinner snack, and in between the raindrops.
Figuring out how's the dinner on the Sawback Circuit.
How's the dinner? We could have a new channel.
Oh my god, no. No, no, no. I can't do one more. There's no way.
It's taken us the Brazo Loop and another night to figure out how to zip 2 Big Agnes Sleep System bags together. And we finally, I'm going to turn this around, we finally think we have it.
We got the bottom.
Yeah, we got the bottom.
And then?
So let's do it.
You want to do it?
No, that's fine. I'm holding the GoPro. Now, let's see, is it going to work? That's good enough. That's good enough. So now what?
So
what
now
happens?
we have our little 2. Let's get in.
So no. So we're going to put these in. We're going to put the pads into the bags
As the sleep system.
and put the sleep system together, and then we'll come back and we'll show you. Okay, well, we finally put 2 Big Agnes Sleep System mummy bags together. And
We're so excited.
look at the size of that mattress. My concern, of course, if it's really cold, is it's a mummy bag. So
How does it mummy?
how does it mummy?
We'll be fine.
No,
We'll
it's,
take
it's the top that I'm concerned about with all the cold getting down in
Yeah,
the
but-
top. But
Evelyn's a furnace. That's true.
well, whatever works. So anyway, guys, Big Agnes has nothing on their website showing you how to do this easily. It took us
6 days.
a while to figure out how to even get the zippers off. But
We can do a tutorial on that if you guys want.
someday down the road we'll show you. But it works. There you go. Cuddle up. Well, that's the end of day 1. 16.69 kilometers according to Gaia GPS. Nat Geo map said 15 and change, so anyway, almost 17k, and we're here at Mystic Junction. Nice camp spot, showed you around earlier.
Outhouse might need a little bit of...
We're a little close to the outhouse.
No, it needs a little bit of empty.
Didn't realize that. Yeah, all the cold air is sinking down now to the stream where we are, and it's bringing the outhouse with it. So always look for that when you're picking a camp spot. Anyway, tomorrow, easy day, about 10k up to Sawback Lake. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to going in and exploring the lake, and just kind of hanging out. So pretty easy day compared to some of the other hikes we've done this year, huh?
Yeah.
Even though it was 17k, it was a nice wide trail.
It was over, like, we were, like, I asked Dad, I was like, hey, where are we? He's like, we're already, like, 12k, and I was like, what? No.
Yeah, it went very, very fast, so that's always good. And tomorrow will be very short and quick too, so.
It'll take us, like, what do you think?
3 hours probably, maybe 4 if we're leisurely. So anyway, hope you enjoyed day 1, and we'll see you in the morning. Morning, day 2 of our Sawback Circuit. Good sleep last night. We slept in. It's like 8:15. That's the latest we've ever slept in on the trail, because we only have 10k to do. So cold night, but not too bad. Girls have their sleeping bags joined together, so we're probably toasty warm. I think we had some company in camp last night. I heard some interesting noises, and also smelled some interesting smells, and certain critters out here in the woods stink, so you can smell them before you see them. Anyway, I'm going to get up and have some coffee and pack up and head up the trail to Sawback Lake. Looking forward to that. We've climbed up out of the campsite here at Mystic Junction, heading to what they call the 40-mile bypass, which is the hiker trail. You're actually down there camped right along the horse trail for 40-mile summit. So we'll take this bypass and hiker trail and see what we see. Hopefully we get up 40-mile summit on our way to Sawback Lake. Pretty late start for us, just after 10 a.m., which is a record. I don't think we've ever started hiking that late. But with only 10K to go, really no need to rush. And we're trying to take the Sawback circuit a little more leisurely than most because we have the time. Just broke out of the woods here finally. See back down the valley from where we've come, and finally a little bit of a view here as we get close to 40-mile summit. Whoa, running down the hill. And we'll re-intersect with the horse trail. Oh, look at that, right here. Yep, there we are. So hiker trail, horse trail. You're coming doing the clockwise. Yeah, 40-mile summit, a little over half a kilometer. So we'll head up there and see what there is to see. Making our way here to 40-mile summit. I haven't been through here before, so I'm not sure if it's marked.
Oh, that's nice.
But finally, some views. Beautiful. And great weather this morning, nice and cool. Sun's not on us because the clouds are helping. So we're just going to walk up here a little bit on this flat section and take a break and enjoy. Gorgeous. Finally some views. That's spectacular. We're heading down now from 40-mile summit toward Mystic Lake, which will be off to our left. And then tomorrow we can back out of Mystic Lake and keep heading straight up this valley till we can't really go any further. And then we make a left. Well, you can go further, but there's a big junction there at Flint's, and we'll make a left and head toward Block Lakes Junction, and then up over Badger Pass the next day. But beautiful. Another benefit of hiking this counterclockwise, because otherwise that's at your back most of the day. You're hiking up this hill. About to make our turn down into Sawback Lake. Some pretty great views opening up down here.
Yeah.
Pretty steep.
We just saw a cool toad.
Yeah, we did see a toad. We've seen lots of those gopher-y ground squirrels. And but really nothing else so far. We're making our way down, and I want to show you real quick. There is Sawback Lake up there, if you can see it on the GoPro. We're going to walk up this valley to the campsite, which is right down in there, and then we can hike up into the lake a little later, do some refreshing, and then in the morning hike back down the valley, and then around the corner and up that way, past Flint's, and then make a left. We've come down the hill We thought we were going to have to go across there, but if you look to your left when you come down that hill, boom! Lovely bridge. Almost to the campsite now. Up this way a bit, there's the lake's going to be up in there. Almost to home for the night. Good looking spot. Trail intersection here. We've come from up there. Here you can see Flint's Park, Cascade. FM 29 is 0.8 kilometers down this trail, which is where we're going. And Sawback Lake 2.2. Yeah.
Mamma mia.
Coming in Sawback Lake that way, and tent pads down here. You can kind of see the stand of trees coming in.
Oh.
No fishing.
Whirling disease.
Yeah, and no swimming.
Oh crap. $25,000 penalty.
Yeah. So we're gonna walk up and see the lake, but we'll certainly do our washing up down here then in the creek, because that would be against the rules to win the lake.
I think we actually go Sawback Creek too. Nowhere. All right. We can't do anything.
Well, we can't swim. So
Wading across the stream to stay in the official trail is permitted, where there are no bridge crossings.
all right. Well, whirling disease.
I think it's a fish thing.
We will look that up and give you a definition right now in the video. So here it is.
Boom.
Yeah. Well, down into setup camp. We certainly will go see the lake, but there'll be no dip in the lake. And that's to prevent the spread of whirling disease. Food storage way over there. I see picnic tables way over there as well. And the tent pads are in here. So just like last night, a big walk to the food.
It's actually pretty smart.
Yeah. All right, girls, let's go in and find a tent pad. Pick a good one tonight. There's 5 of them. Well, let's go see. Number 1 is, oh, little. Not much of a pad there. 2 might be all right. Another good reason why we try to get into camp early is because we travel with a 4-person tent. And it's quite large. And in a lot of these backcountry campsites, there aren't a lot of big tent pads. So you really have to try to get in early and make sure you have a place to set up your tent, because this is pretty much the only pad that we would be able to set up on tonight. So we get in late today, and there's still room, which is great. Later than we thought. It's still early, but we'd like to get in midday, 2, 3, 3:30, just to see if we can get a good spot for the tent, because it is so big. Pretty nice shot of the eating area, although these campsites on the Sawback, communal areas, very small communal areas actually, unless I've missed one here. This is it. And you've got 5 tent pads. So
and 1 picnic table with 1 bench.
yeah, so it was interesting at Mosquito Creek last year. They had a picnic table for every tent pad, and then here in the last campsite, not so much, and that's fine. Just different, just something to be aware of. That's all. And camp is over in that stand of trees, a long way away from this. But it sure is a pretty view. Of course, tomorrow we're going to go that way and then around that way. Just under a kilometer to walk from our tent. 0.92 or 0.93 up here to Sawback Lake. Worth the trip. Look at that. Woo, baby. Look at that. We're going to go for a little walk around the lake. If there's something to show you, we will, but what a gorgeous spot. Wow, beautiful. Sawback Lake. Well, that's the end of day 2. Good hike today, just under 10 kilometers from Mystic Junction to Sawback Lake. Got in early and set up camp, had a snack, and walked up to Sawback Lake. Showed you that, really pretty. 40-mile summit was actually really pretty. Exceeded my expectations. I didn't think there'd be much to see there, but I was wrong. It was really nice. So a really good day. Met some nice guys in camp, and who are headed in the opposite direction that we are. So we picked up a little trail info, which is good to know. And I might hit some wet crossing of a river and some wet sections close to Block Lakes Junction, where we're staying tomorrow night. Not a bad day, actually, pretty easy. 12.5 kilometers. We're going to get up and head back down this valley and then make a left and head down the 40-mile valley again with the sawbacks to our left. Head down to Flint's Park campsite. There's a big junction there. Make a left again and head up the Badger Pass Trail. We'll stay tomorrow night at Block Lakes Junction, and that'll set us up for our Badger Pass hike the next day. So should be a really good day. Weather's going to be great. Going to get an early start though, so we can get into camp early and do a little shaving and make sure we get a good tent pad for this giant thing of ours. How about your day? Good? Yeah. Yeah, really good. We're tired, which is good. Nice workout. So yeah, so a really good day too. So we're gonna hit the sack here soon, and we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, day 3. Ooh, baby, what a chilly night. It was cold. It still is cold. First really cold night we've had on the trail in the Rockies this summer. And we have the gear for it, yet somehow you're still cold. I'm actually battling a bit of a wonky sleeping pad. This is the second Big Agnes Q-Core SLX that has a faulty valve. Actually, this has lasted for probably 40 nights at the trail, and all of a sudden now in the middle of the Rockies where it's nice and cold, the valve is starting to go so I had to blow it up twice in the night, and it's all squishy now. So they do give you a spare valve. I'm just not sure if I'm willing to take the risk of trying to repair that on the trail, because with these Big Agnes sleep systems, if you lose your pad, you have no insulation on the bottom. So anyway, just something that kept me kind of awake in the night, every 4 hours blowing that up. So anyway, 12.5K today to Block Lakes Junction. We're going to get up now and have some quick breakfast to get on the trail nice and early, and hopefully get in really nice and early so we can do some chores and enjoy a nice, hopefully sunny afternoon. We've been watching these deer all morning from the campsite, and I don't know if you can see it on the GoPro, but right up there, beautiful deer. Beautiful male, nice buck up there, having breakfast. He's between the trees. I'm gonna peek at us. He doesn't care about us. We've just come to the intersection. Yeah, somebody didn't like the sign, I guess. We've come to the intersection where if you weren't going to Sawback Lake and you were hiking all the way up to Flint's Park, there's a bypass, and this is it. So if you look at the map, you'll see a trail in the direction we've been traveling. You'll see a trail that goes around to the right and then bypasses the whole Sawback Lake. So now we're back kind of joining the main trail toward Flint's Park. Just something to keep an eye on. You don't want to get confused here if you are going to Sawback Lake, because you'll maybe take the wrong trail. Yeah. So unfortunately all the markings are down, but if you are coming the other direction on the Sawback circuit and you want to go to Sawback Lake and you get to this junction, don't go that way, go that way.
Go right, not left. And
we're going that way. Little tributary here of Sawback Creek. Drains down to the Sawback Creek that way. Loving these new bridges here in Banff. They are building them really high and very, very solid. So, a really smart move on their part. These bridges probably last a long, long time because of their design.
But make sure you keep your weight to the left.
Yeah, they're narrow. And compare that with what's going on up in Jasper. And Banff's doing a great job. Jasper, not so much. That's a different discussion for a different time, but love the new bridges here in Banff National Park. Good stuff.
What's going on in Jasper? Bison roam in this area. The adjustable drift fence is designed to redirect bison back to their new home range at certain times while allowing for the free passage of other wildlife the rest of the time. Oh, leave the gate as you found it.
Cool. So open or close, if you see these buffalo gates, you leave them as they are.
Oh my god, I want to see one.
Banff National Park has an excellent program.
They really do.
Where they're reintegrating bison, buffalo, whatever, into the park. They used to roam here and were hunted to their extinction in this area. So what they've been doing is flying them in, dropping them off in a pen. You can find these videos online at Banff National Park's YouTube. They let them go through their first calving season in the pen, so everything's good. No predation, and then they send them back out in the wild. It's an excellent program, and we were kind of talking a few minutes ago about bridges and how Banff's doing it right. They certainly do that sort of work right in Banff as well. Started years ago with the bridge crossings over the highway and the tunnels under the highway to let wildlife roam free. So, bravo Banff.
Woo. Yeah, I think it would be amazing to see a herd of bison like that. That's the top of my list. I think that's so cool. So yeah.
You can see the fence there. Keeps the bison in where they want them to be at certain times. We've actually seen some different poop on the trail. Almost horse-like, but not quite. And we were kind of wondering what it was. And we're still not sure because, none of us are scatologists. Haha.
Is that a word?
I just made it up.
Okay.
But it could be bison poop.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah, I doubt we'll see any, but if we do, so will you.
Yeah.
Broken out into the meadow, and we can see the warden's cabin ahead. We're gonna go have a look at that. And a beautiful view coming into the Flint's Park campsite area. Met some folks who were staying here last night, so we'll have a look around and show you that. But before we do, a little quick look at view around here. Of course, we're heading up that way here momentarily, but beautiful little spot. Great spot for a warden's cabin. I'd love staying here if I was a warden. So let's go have a look at that. Obviously that's where the horses would cross. Lovely nice bridge for us, and again another high bridge here in Banff. Very smart. So we'll go have a quick look at the warden's cabin, then we'll head up the valley here. Beautiful. Look at that water, how clear that is.
It's gorgeous.
This is usually a boots off scenario for us. We're not very far from camp at all. Olivia has spied an alternative. Oh yeah, we could probably make our way across that. A little tougher in our direction maybe than if they were coming the other way, but we'll give it a shot. Not going to film it though in case there's carnage. And we're across, in case you're wondering.
It worked. Yeah.
Little tree worked. Would have been much easier probably getting on that tree going in the other direction, but we're back in the muck, not too far from camp, and we'll show you that when we get there. Oh, a cairn. This be the trail.
Okay.
Another confusing section here of crossing. We're going to have to get our way back up there to re-intersect the trail. The goal here is not to put our Crocs on, and we're sticking to it. A couple markers here showing how to get through this section. Some horse tracks too, which are always nice to follow, but do a little stream hopping here. Get over to that marker and try to re-intersect the trail. Tricky spot, that's for sure. So just make a note, less than a kilometer on the Flint's Park side of Block Lakes campsite. There's a sketchy area with lots of water. There are a couple of flag ties in the trees. Probably not enough. Hopefully that'll help you. Well, we have a sign. Lovely, let's have a look at this. So 0.6 kilometers to the campsite.
That doesn't seem right.
Well, there may be a spur trail, which you're gonna see. JO 29, where we're going tomorrow night. 13 kilometers. Sounds about right. Okay. Block Mountain, beautiful, look at that. All right, let's go find our campsite. Okay, we've walked like 10 steps.
Look, the sign's right there.
Yeah, the sign is right back there. And there's food storage.
Okay. Who put 0.6?
All right, let's go up here. I will say on this particular trail, food storage is so far away from the tent pads. Coming into number 1.
Number 1's great. Look at that. Number 1's the place.
Oh, that's a good tent pad.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful.
Great. And this
All
whole
right.
area is ours too, because number 2 is somewhere else.
We're gonna set up and do some chores.
Oh, breeze.
Little shot of our menagerie of camp. Site number 1, a really nice site, except for somebody decided at some point to have an illegal campfire in the campsite. So that's a no-no. Unfortunately, we met some guys last night and they actually had been the ones to clear it out. So if you see an illegal campfire, go ahead and break up the fire ring. Do everybody a favor. You don't want to fire that close to your tent. Sometimes people just shock and amaze. Anyway, walking over here now to the bear hang area where the food prep. Straight ahead from site number 1. We come up to the little spur trail as the outhouse. Nice and close for us. Lots of horse poop in this campsite. I want to thank the wardens for that. Appreciate you patrolling, but perhaps you could tie the horses up on the trail and take a walk in just to see if everything's okay. I mean, there's lots of horse poop in this camp. And then we walk past site number 5, which is really in a weird spot. Not only is it in the middle of the bear hang trail, but it's in a giant gully. Can imagine water pooling in there if it rained. And then we'll walk over here and I'll show you the food prep and bear hang area. This one, believe it or not, is a little closer than the ones we've been using the last few nights, which were quite a ways away. This is prime grizzly habitat, so I understand why they're taking them this far. Other areas of Banff National Park, not quite as far. So we are so far the only ones here. I wouldn't be surprised if we were alone tonight. This is not the most popular campsite, Block Lakes Junction, but if anyone's coming over Badger Pass, at this point they will definitely join us. There's firing, and up there you can kind of make out the bear hang. So there's a little tour of Block Lakes Junction campsite. Just boiling some water for dinner here, and a little later on I'll show you my tent, what I've been doing with my Big Agnes sleep pad, which is malfunctioning. The valve is leaking. I'll show you that later, but just wanted to say it's been a trip of broken things. So we've done the Brazo loop already this summer, and things worked pretty well. Didn't really have any issues. And then we started the Sawback circuit and things just started breaking. For example, Our Z-Packs bear bag kits. The little carabiner that Z-Packs provides broke on all three on the Sawback, and then just ripped. Now these aren't over full, really. I mean, I can hold it with one finger. So I brought zip ties. So that's why I'm telling you, that's why we're doing this. Just want to give you a little tip. Bring some zip ties. Because without the zip ties, there's no way I would have been able to even use these bear bags anymore. We probably would have had to shove all of our food into somebody's backpack and hang the backpack. So putting the two zip ties together, hooking it to the bear hang, and hoisting it up. Z-Packs is an awesome company. I love their stuff. We have a bunch of their things, but it's, you know, the trade-off between lightweight and heavy duty is significant. And you know, the little carabiner on there to save weight, of course. Probably not meant for this type of environment. In fact, on the West Coast Trail, I showed you in that video, my Z-Packs gaiters ripped. They replaced them. Like I said, they're awesome people, and they make really great products. But when you're out here in this environment, and for extended periods of time, probably pays to stop counting grams and ounces and just think about, you know, durability and long lasting. So that doesn't explain the big Agnes pad issue, but you know, just something we noticed on this trip. We've been very lucky with our gear over the years, and well, this is a week of adventure on that front. So I'll show you the gear in the tent there, the big Agnes valve issue. You can see in here there's I call them Boston valves. You know, you blow in, the pressure sends them back, and they hold the air in. Then you have this secondary valve. Well, not a valve, but this secondary cover that should help if there's a small leak, keep the air in. Unfortunately, that's not happening with mine. So I actually went ahead and replaced the valve, the Boston valve in here.
The first time.
Yeah, and then I put this piece of plastic in to see if I could somehow seal it even better. But it's still leaking. I actually spit in it, put a little water in there, and you could see it bubbling up around the valve. I cleaned inside, I cleaned the valve, I put a new valve in, and nothing's holding. It's leaking air slowly in here. So maybe this will slow it down a little bit by doing this so that I don't have to blow it up 3 times during the middle of the night. But when you're using a big Agnes sleep system, this is one of the problems, right? I mean, we've got 4 nights out here still, counting tonight. And this is my insulation on the bottom of these sleep systems. So I did have one of those Thermarest accordion pads. I don't know what they're called. Which I was going to take on the north boundary, but we're not on the north boundary, so we couldn't go. So I didn't bring it, and that would have been like a backup. So anyway, if you do have a big Agnes sleep system, just know that sometimes these fail. And apparently in this case, there's not much I can do until I get back and I either exchange it or get it fixed or what have you. So wish me luck. Well, Evan and Olivia are doing hair behind the camera there, so I'm going to wrap up day 3. About 12.5 kilometers to Block Lakes Junction. Really easy walk for us today. We really enjoyed seeing that warden's cabin though. That was very cool.
It was really cool.
And we were in camp at 1 o'clock. We did some laundry. We washed up. I shaved. You can see all the cuts. Brook shaving, never much fun. Had a nice dinner and getting ready for bed. It's going to be an early morning tomorrow. We're going to head 7 kilometers up to Badger Pass and then 6 kilometers down to Badger Pass Junction campsite.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We'd like to get in early again, so we have a good selection of campsites for this giant tent. And we like our long afternoons and evenings if we can get them, so don't mind that a bit. And the next day, of course, 14K downhill to Larry's camp.
We'll be fast.
Did meet some other folks in camp. Reports of a grizzly bear on the other side of Badger Pass, probably between Llewellyn Lake and Badger Pass Junction, but they move, so depending which way he or she is going, we may get a chance to have a sighting. This one, they were pretty close to it, actually, when they saw it.
How many meters would you think? 15-ish?
No, they're probably 30 meters away,
Okay. Oh, never mind.
35 meters away,
Yep.
which is still very close.
Definitely.
The bear scurried off, though, in a pretty big hurry, so that's a good sign, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, a great day. Up between the Sawback and Vermilion Ranges. We're going to follow the Cascade River up tomorrow morning for most of the hike toward the pass. and should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it and show you some really great views. So yeah, that's a wrap on day 3. We'll see you in the morning. Morning, day 4. That's right, day 4. And up Badger Pass this morning. 13 kilometers total, 7 up, 6 down. Pretty good sleep. Not nearly as cold last night as it was the night before. The night before last at Sawback Lake was 3 Celsius. Last night didn't get anywhere near that. Pretty toasty actually. Pretty good sleep too, except for the 2 times I had to blow up my mattress because my butt was hitting the ground. Hopefully I can nurse this thing through 3 more nights. Ladies look like they slept well, so we're gonna get up, get some coffee and breakfast, and excuse me, and get on the trail early. We've made our way to camp, Block Lakes Junction. We're going to affectionately call it Horse Poop Camp because, and we're actually following the horse poop across these rocks to see where the trail is. Actually, pretty good camp. Just be aware it's very dusty. So up at the food prep area and just generally around camp, there seems to be just a lot of dust.
I liked it though.
Yeah, it's a good camp. No problems.
The views are nice if you look around.
Yeah, nice view of Block Mountain, and we had a lovely long day. Some folks did come in and join us last night, and they had come all the way from Llewellyn Lake, which is a pretty big day, over Badger Pass. This is where we're heading now. About 8:15, so a nice early start for us. We tend to take it slow on the uphills, and we always have to get an early start. All right. See you later, Block Mountain and Block Lakes Junction. More bison gates. Look at that. It's a lot of work. A lot of work. Good on you, Banff. You can see it all going down there. This may be the biggest mushroom I've ever seen. It reminds us of that Mario Kart.
The track, Moo Moo Meadows, where you have to jump over the shrooms.
Is it Moo Moo Meadows?
I think it's Moo Moo Meadows. And you go in
No,
that
I don't
cave.
think it is. I think it's another one.
No, it's Moo Moo Meadows. No, it's not. It's Mushroom Gorge.
Mushroom
Oh,
Gorge.
dang it.
Cool. This climb right here, mild compared to what we've been dealing with. It's wicked steep up this side of Badger Pass. First few kilometers were easy, but this is really steep, and this is mild compared to what we've already done. We've come from down there and that way. And you can see the haze. This is our first day of real haze from the fires burning in Kootenay National Park. The wind has changed, it's out of the south, blowing all the smoke our way. So, on top of a very steep climb, a little bit of a campfire smell and taste in the air. Always not optimal for heavy breathing. But man alive, it seems like every summer now there's a fire out here, and won't be long, I don't think, either before the town of Jasper's in trouble, because in Jasper the pine beetle,
Oh, the
or
pine
pine bug, or whatever it is,
It's the pine beetle.
has killed so many trees. They're all red, meaning of course they're dead, and now they're tinder basically. And when you're in Jasper town site, 360 degrees around you. It looks like, you know, deciduous trees in fall. And that's a bad, yeah, that's a bad thing. So, unfortunately, the fires out here in the Rockies are going to be a summertime occurrence, at least for, in my opinion, the foreseeable future. So that's why you see a little haze in the air today. And I imagine once we get up to Badger Pass, the views will be amazing, but slightly obscured. Well, good morning there, little buddy. And see you later. See, you start the camera and they leave.
Oh, there's its head. I literally blinked and it went away and I thought I was hallucinating.
Yeah, no. Oh, there's his head. Yeah. Oh, he just ducked. That's so funny. Oh, hello.
Oh my god.
Okay, well. I speak squirrel.
I think there's more than one.
Deer. Oh, there's two right there.
Yeah. Ooh, please be a grizzly somewhere. Not to eat them, but.
Oh, there goes Bambi. All right.
Wow. Pretty. I wish they were moose.
Breezy up in this bowl. Trail goes that way and then up there over Badger Pass. We're almost there. A little breezy though, my goodness. Yeah, it's actually good because we've been hiking in the heat out here pretty much, so it's very welcome. Wow. Well, we're going to say goodbye to that view. And hello to Badger Pass. Up there to the left. Well, we're pretty much done with this climb. Badger Pass. Glad to see the rear end of you, man. Holy mackerel. That was a tough one. Really neat up here though. It's so desolate.
Feel a little sick, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit, you get a little bit of exertion up here at this altitude for sure. Weight on your back,
Oh, there's
less
another
oxygen.
stuff
Yeah, so we're gonna swing around now, make the sharp left. Up over there, see there's a cairn on the top. And then we're gonna head down the hill to camp. Basically 6K downhill. And that's pretty exciting. Music on to help the climb now. Mia too. Anyway, wow, what a climb. We're almost there. Right over there. She's steep. Did it! Let's get down a little bit and have a break from this wind before I lose my hat. Holy mackerel, is that ever windy? Evelyn's saying she's not sure she's been in wind this strong before. It's coming up pretty good. So we're not going to linger up here at the top, which is kind of crappy because, you know, it took us 4 hours to get up there, but we're going to come down into this wind a bit and have a break. Still see some views. We'll tuck in behind one of these rocks and have a little rest. kilometer from camp-ish. Not quite sure about camp because there's a cutoff that we may have to, maybe there's a triangle built there, but we may have to go down trail a bit and then backtrack up to another trail. The one that goes to Pulsatilla Pass, we'll see. It's been a long day. It's been a lot harder than we thought. Yeah, Badger Pass was crazy.
Probably the hardest pass you've ever done. And
Probably the hardest pass we've ever done. Everyone's
how many
right.
have I done?
Oh, quite a number.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then of course I fell and bit it on this regular trail, on the Badger Pass trail, just through the woods. So we're ready to get to camp and have a little rest. Once the girls and I cross this river, there we go. Should be not too long. Nice set of waterfalls back there just outside of Badger Pass Junction campsite, heading toward Badger Pass. And some other folks told us, you know, where to look exactly to get some shots. And of course, earlier you saw other waterfalls coming down that same river. So pretty cool. Really neat to have so many waterfalls in one stream of water. Pulsatilla Pass Trail, you make a left. I don't know if I was looking at Gaia the wrong way or not, but it looked like it was on the right. But the wolves were here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm running with the wolves tonight, so. Ooh.
Well, we heard past a couple of people who heard them howling last night.
Yes, there's a pack around.
So
Anyway, maybe we'll hear them tonight. That'd be pretty cool. Gonna head up here and explore camp. We've opted to come all the way over here to temp head number 1. Unfortunately, there's an illegal fire pit here. We've seen this a lot on this trail.
sign right here.
Yeah,
Please don't.
no fires.
It
Oh
looks
look,
inviting.
I'm not gonna get into it on this trip. You know me, sometimes I'll go, but I'm not gonna go. But geez, people, there's a reason for that.
There is, I swear.
And now I'm gonna stay in a fire pit. I'm gonna stay in a location with a fire pit that you might have burned garbage in that might attract a bear. So bravo, you're the king of the world. All right, that's my rant. So here we are, real quick, show you. We're here, creek's behind me, way down. Tomorrow we're heading this way to Llewellyn Lake, and Pulsatilla Pass, of course, up the other way. So Privy's here, Bear hangs over here. So yeah, little update. We've moved to site number 3, which is a little more shaded. It's all bug central, so that doesn't matter. The reason is somebody's got an illegal campfire pit, as I ranted about a minute ago, and I poked around in it with my trekking pole, and there are bits of food in there.
And that's a big no, and there's a grizzly around.
So yeah, there is a grizzly in the area, we're aware of that, and a pack of wolves. So we decided to move to 3, and when the folks come in who take that site, if anybody does, I'll tell them about it. And maybe we'll all pick the food out as best we can and put it in our odor-proof, garbage bags. But anyway, we're at site 3 now, and yeah, lots of bugs. This may be the buggiest campsite so far. So we're going to get some water and set up and fight the bugs. Little pre-dinner snack in the fly zone here.
No, it's good.
So what we've done, we got a Kenora sidekick that doesn't need milk, and we added some of this chicken. I'm not a big fan of tuna, like most hikers use, so
No, we hate tuna.
added some chicken and just something different for us to mix it up. We also have the Mr. Noodles with us as well. Fire pit over there. Bear hangs over there. And we're hoping the sun goes down shortly. It's not only because it's hot, but because it'd be nice to get a nice cold night to get rid of some of these bugs. Anyway, that's our snack update. We're going to finish this up, clean up, and then go finish setting up the tent, take a little rest, and then come right back here for dinner. Yeah, yum. Come down to our water source. Do a quick pan around here.
Which is very far away, by the way.
It's quite a ways away from the tent sites, but that's fine. Pulsatilla Pass up that way. Really pretty spot. We have the campsite alone tonight to ourselves so far, and it's getting pretty late.
There's a grizzly in the area.
There is a grizzly in the area, yes. Thank you for mentioning that.
So fun time.
Somewhere in the area. You don't know which way they're going.
No.
Grizzly was actually down by Llewellyn Lake, which is a good 5 odd kilometers from here. So could have been going in the opposite direction. We don't care. We did take extra precautions tonight, just kind of double checking our, our bear prep. But I would imagine in a few hours there might be some animals out in this meadow. I don't know, but I'll be in my sleeping bag.
Well, we know there's a pack of wolves around.
There is a pack of wolves and a grizzly in the area, so
Maybe we'll hear some howling.
maybe hear some howling. If we do, we'll share that with you. But otherwise, we're just going to go finish hanging our stuff and get in a tent, and we'll wrap it up and call it a day. But first, just have a peek down there. Gorgeous. Well, that's the end of day 4. We're at Badger Pass Junction. It was 13.5 kilometers from Block Lakes campsite, which was our starting point this morning at 8:13 a.m. and it took us quite a while to get here. We were pretty slow. We
still got here pretty early though.
We did, yeah, no, we did. We came up the hard side of Badger Pass, so
Maybe consider going the other way.
Clockwise is probably the preferred route here, but as I said before, we really couldn't get on. Yeah. So we've at least one big accomplishment today. We've come up with a trail name for Olivia. We're still working on the other 2.
No, we have yours a little.
No, but it's not. It doesn't make sense. But Olivia's is Wheezy because
I have altitude sickness.
She has not got altitude sickness. Olivia has issues
problem in altitude.
Exerting herself at altitude. Otherwise, she's fine. So, yeah. Anyway,
so I wheeze a little.
She wheezes a lot. So that was a big accomplishment for us today, and we're pretty happy about that.
Making my name Wheezy or going up that pass?
Wheezy. Wheezy.
Wheezy.
Anyway, beautiful, quiet night here, as I showed you earlier. We're going to get to bed here shortly.
There's no one here.
Yeah, there's no one here. It's nice. We have the campsite to ourselves. Play a little checkers. We finally found the...
where is
where
it?
did it go? So we have the GSI Outdoors crib board. We finally found the checker set in Banff.
It's great. It's like all magnetic.
It's really cool. So we're going to play a little bit of checkers and then call it an early night and get up again early tomorrow morning and do 14.5K from here to Larry's camp.
That's completely downhill, yeah.
Which is completely downhill, which is great.
We're very happy.
We'll book it and get in early and do some laundry and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll take Wheezy up over Mystic Pass here the next day and try to roll her up the hill as best we can.
Throw me up the hill, roll me down.
There. So anyway, that's the end of day 4. We'll see y'all in the morning. A little camera shy, I guess, on day 5, but good morning. Down to Larry's camp today. I don't think Larry will be there, but I'll have a look anyway. Mostly downhill. Pretty good sleep last night. Chilly willy though. A couple nights ago it was down to 3. I didn't bring my little thermometer in here this morning, so it's outside. I'll have a check, but probably somewhere in that vicinity. Pretty quiet night too. We're here alone, and Evelyn scared the poop out of a deer when she went out to pee at about 9:15. But other than that, pretty quiet. Didn't hear the wolf pack. No visit from Smokey. So pretty uneventful night, which is, I guess, kind of what you want when you're out here in the middle of nowhere. So we're gonna get up, do the usual: coffee, breakfast, pack it, and hike it. Just boiling some water for coffee. It's fun to watch the sunrise here. You can actually watch it if you're, patient enough. You can watch it creep down the mountains. It's very cool. Beautiful morning. Chilly. Just update on the temperature. It was 5 Celsius. So I'll flash on the screen what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's somewhere, I think, around 40, just over 40. But flash it here now. Yeah, beautiful morning. Gonna be a great day for a walk. So real quick, here's the dilemma. We have 2 trails out of here. So toward Pulsatilla Pass, as you're heading down toward Larry's camp, the trail splits into 2 parts, and then it rejoins down the valley, I think right around Llewellyn Lake, so 5 kilometers. So what I'm thinking is one's a horse trail and one's a hiker trail. I'm not really sure. It doesn't say on the maps. Well, actually the map, the Nat Geo map, doesn't show 2 trails. It shows 1. But there definitely are 2 here. If you look at Gaia GPS or the old Canadian topo maps, there's 2 trails here. So, you know, you guess one's for horse, one's for hiker. Well, the one we came in is kind of skirting the woods, and the other one's right through the middle of the meadow. Typically horses would go through the middle of the meadow because if it's mucky and wet, not that big of a deal. So we'd probably go back out the way we came in just to get to that intersection, and that'll put us on the Sawback side trail. And but a little confusing. You know, walking through the meadow, if it's dry, would be pretty easy. Little willow bashing and stuff, but no big deal. So that's kind of what we're thinking this morning. But anyway, time for some coffee, and I'm going to sit here and enjoy this view. Site number 3. Nice spot for us last night. I would have liked site number 1 down with the view of the meadows, but again, food in the campfire, so. Part of my trail report. I always put a trail report in for the parks folks.
It's helpful.
And but this one I'm going to ask why the wardens don't break up those illegal fire pits when they come through a campsite. That one was long established, so it's just one of those things you think about when you're out here. Kind of baffles the mind. But so we've decided to come back to the trail we came in on. Now I know that I mentioned while I was having coffee there are 2 trails that go down and meet. A little worried about the meadow one being maybe swampy in places, slowing us down. The other thing, of course, is we know we came in on this trail, so we know it'll take us where we need to go, and that's probably a safer bet. So that's what we're going to do. Head down that valley to Larry's camp in about 14.5 kilometers. We're going to see how fast we can do it to lengthen our afternoon. Off we go. Very close to Llewellyn, another split in the trail. They send the horses down to the water. Hikers stay up top. Pretty typical out here. So if you're heading toward Llewellyn from the Pulsatilla Pass, you will come across that as well once you've crossed Johnston. Whoa! I almost bit it again. My goodness. Hey, sweetie.
Oh my god.
It's every year we have a bird on the trail. These birds are really silly. They just hang out in the trail.
They're probably guarding something.
Go ahead, Liv. Walk on by.
I'm so scared.
It will take off eventually, but we got to keep moving, so.
Their wings make huge noise. I'm pretty sure it's a partridge.
It's not a partridge, it's a grouse.
Oh. Bye.
I think it's a grouse. Mountain grouse.
Look at it just go. Bye.
See you later. Okay, we've just come from there and we've met a large group also going to Larry's. Llewellyn Lake is up here 1 kilometer, and we're going to pass. And you're going to go, what? They didn't go up to Llewellyn Lake? Truthfully, at this point in the hike, we're just interested in getting to Larry's. And quite honestly, there are enough pictures and videos of Llewellyn Lake online
And if you're interested in seeing what
that if you are interested in seeing it, all you have to do is look it up. It's so popular. And you know, we missed Pulsatilla this trip because I went counterclockwise when I changed the reservation. And we're missing Llewellyn, so that's another trip for another time. Be a nice one actually to go up to Lake Louise from here. So yeah, we're just going to keep motoring along and try to get in early and have a nice relaxing day because we got to get wheezy up over Mystic Mountain there tomorrow. A little confusing when you come across that bridge from the Llewellyn Lake Junction. Johnston Creek campsite's to the right, and intuitively you want to go right.
Don't.
Don't.
Go up.
Come up a hill, get to the top here, see, and you'll see this.
And there's a sign over there, Badger Pass and Pulsatilla.
Yeah, so we're heading here to 8.5 more kilometers, just past the junction to Mystic. that we're going up tomorrow. So now we're up, and then we're going to start more of a downhill. That certainly will get you going. Woohoo! You can tell you're on a heavily used part of this trail between Moose Meadows, Johnston Canyon Trailheads, Ink Pots, and Larry's Camp and Llewellyn Lake, because Parks gets out here and does a lot more repair and infrastructure work than make it to some parts of the backcountry, or the other way backcountry, if that's even a term. Just stopped here for a break. Just want to show you, if you're coming in from Larry's and you go into Llewellyn Lake, you're going to come to this fork in the road, and you can see someone's been nice and put an arrow, go left. We also checked our GoPro here, which has a crack in the Gorilla Glass that covers the lens. So we checked some of our clips, and apparently you can't see the crack. So I'm really hoping that's true. Go ahead, guys. We've had some bad luck with this Hero 6. As you know, if you watched the West Coast Trail video I did in May, the darn thing just stopped working. And so they actually replaced it because it was, you know, busted. And now the replacement one has a crack in the glass that guards the lens. This is the hike of broken things. I've already showed you our broken bear bags from Z-Packs. All three of them broken, which I find remarkably coincidental. I've got a broken Big Agnes sleep pad. Anything else broken? Just Olivia's spirit. Other than that,
you dented a bear spray.
Oh yes, I fell yesterday and I did dent a bear spray, and boy, am I glad that didn't puncture. Cause here's a note in case you don't know: if you spray bear spray around as if it were an actual repellent, it becomes an attractant. Weird, I know, but it's true. Sprayed bear spray will attract bears. So, little known fact. All right, it's enough chatting. We're going to turn on some tunes and hopefully something in there for Dad. And we'll be at camp probably in less than an hour. We have to open this gate, which we're going to put back in the closed position. I'll be honest, I don't know what this is for. There's no sign for bison here, but you never know. So we'll close this up the way we found it. And sorry for the shaky picture. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Weirdest thing.
Yeah. And really, I mean, not much of a fence anymore. Look at that. I mean, she's coming down. Interesting. Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. Woo! Woohoo! We're here at the junction. We're gonna go right over that bridge there. Just show you where we're at. Tomorrow, Mystic Pass, 6.5 kilometers uphill. Right now, we're going into the campsite. And we're looking forward to that. Probably going to end up being a 15-kilometer day for us. Nat Geo map's a little off. They have been on this whole trail So go in now and find a campsite, boil some water, and have a snack. I've come up the hill. Food storage and cooking area right after the bridge. Tent pads are up in here. We're gonna have a quick peek, see where
6 is over to your left.
see what's going on here. Oh, they're all back in here. All right, great. We're gonna go tour around here, see what we can find that we like. Something as secluded as we can find. Beautiful. Quick little tour of the food hang and eating area. We're on the upper tier. Tent pads are up there. I'll show them to you in a bit. So, as all out here, it's a good walk. We've sat here and had our dinner. Fire pit. Obviously the bear hang is there. And then down here you'll see another picnic table, another fire pit, and there's another bear hang there. So total of 10 pads here and 10 bear hang cables. Folks are all down at the lower level because it's a bit closer to the creek or whatever it is, the water, and they're enjoying that sound and blah blah blah. We've been out in the woods for enough days that I'm just coming to eat and then back to the tent because tomorrow's Mystic Pass. So it's finishing up down here, and I'll take you back to our tent site and show you that, and then we'll be wrapping up for day number 5. Well, as promised, we've walked up from the food storage area. You can see tent pads down that way, all in there, and up this way. We've taken tent pad number 10, which is quite secluded but has its own little secret passage to our water source, which has made cleaning up and everything this afternoon super easy. So that's a bit of a hike. I won't show you the whole thing, but show you camp when we get there. And this is camp, tent pad number 10. A little bit of a mess right now because we've got the vestibules open and we airing stuff out, filtering some water when the girls bring some more back, hanging some stuff to dry. And then of course number 10 here at Larry's has this nice little trail that goes off down to the water. That's where I went down and cleaned up earlier. So there's camp. Not a bad spot. For a place with 10 tent pads, I have to say, good amount of privacy, really. So pretty happy with that. Yeah. Wrap it up here in a bit.
Well, that's the end of day 5. If I sound a little different and stuffed up, it's because the smoke has blown in from the fires. And I don't know about you guys. Well, Olivia said her throat was starting to hurt, but I'm like all congested now. That's a bit of a problem as we're heading up over Mystic Pass tomorrow. A little over 10 kilometers up for Wheezy here. And we did about 15 today from Badger Pass Junction to Larry's camp. Larry's not here. Did anyone see Larry? Nobody saw Larry. So...
That's like the epitome of making dad jokes.
Anyway, it was a good day. We booked it, made a long afternoon, nice dinner, played some crib, and now we're just sitting and wallowing in the smoke. So
I'm not being bothered.
Well, isn't that wonderful?
Born in fire.
Little Miss
Forged
Evelyn.
in fire.
Little Miss Evelyn also wanted crib.
Fire runs through her veins.
Anyway, it was a good night, and our last mountain pass tomorrow morning. So we're going to get up early and get out before the heat hits because it's going to be hot again tomorrow, and we'd like to be almost done by the time that heat rolls in because it's hard to hike in the heat, as you probably know. So that's it for day 5. We'll see you in the morning. Morning, day 6. Last night on the trail. And we're going to get up early. It's about 6:30. Set the alarm for 6 and then snoozed it a bit. Really should have got up, but that's okay. It's cold. It's hard to leave a nice warm sleeping bag when you're cold, or when it's cold. But we want to start our walk up to Mystic Pass early while it's cool, because it's been very hot, and it's tough to climb those passes when it's hot, especially for Wheezy. So we're going to get up and get moving, try to get out of here quick, get up and over that pass before it gets too hot. We'll call today our Into the Mystic Day. For all you Van Morrison fans, we're heading into the Mystic.
And we're off into the Mystic. I'll probably say that all this whole day, so please pardon me. Probably 6K plus to get to the top, and 3.5 to 4 down to the campsite. So we were up early trying to hike in the cool temperatures. I must say everybody here at Larry's camp this morning was up early. And by the way, 10 pads at Larry's, but they're spread out. It's actually not as bad as we, you know, we're kind of thinking, gee whiz, 10 pads, what's that like? Pretty spread out, lots of privacy.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. So, everybody else up early this morning as well. Some people heading back to the trailhead, and then we don't know where everybody else is going because we didn't really chat with too many folks. There we go, Mystic Pass, 6.5. All right, let's do it. Up into a nice meadow here after mostly ravine and forest walking, and steady uphill though, some steeper parts than others, but sun's finally over the mountains to start warming things up for us. Lots of haze in the air from the fires, and pretty pervasive smell as well, so a little harder to breathe. Pretty weird to come out of the forest and see this rock slide. Huh. Now we got to figure out which way we're going. I think we're going to the left, probably, but I don't see any cairns really. Wow, that's massive. Look at that. Whole chunk of a mountain event just came down and ended up here. We know where we're going, so it's just a matter of getting up over this mess. Well, let's see how we do. Oh, there's the trail. There's a cairn straight ahead, guys. I was a little off when I said left, sharp left. There's a cairn at 12 o'clock and a bit of a path up that slope. So we'll take that. Hello. Hey, hey. Back to birdland. And there she goes. She's just going down the path with us. Pretty much straight uphill. Gaia GPS shows switchbacks way over to our right, and they're not there. So basically straight uphill to these beautiful waterfalls. Let's have a look at those. Typically I keep these shots silent so you can just enjoy the view, but I have to point out the haze. Look at that. That haze is forest fire smoke. I know we've talked about it a bit, but actually there were ashes coming into camp last night, white ashes, and we shook some off the tent this morning. So even though we are far away from the actual fire, that's how far smoke and ashes can go and have an impact. So pretty crazy. And a little tough on the lungs this morning. We're getting close to the pass into the Mystic. That's Mystic Mountain right there. If you look over this way, there's the valley we came up, and there's the Sawbacks, aptly named. It's been a steep climb, and we're almost to the top. We'll show you that when we get there. Into the Mystic. We are coming up, and we can see the pass. And is that ever a nice thing to see? Saying goodbye to that part of the Sawbacks. We're coming through the pass. We're going to take a break when we have a nice view of the valley we're heading into. And if there is a sign here marking Mystic Pass, we'll take you into the Mystic sign. Little scree cairn there, and that's it. We're up. Hallelujah. Heading down that way to Mystic Lake. Let's turn around back here. Speaking of lakes, so the map shows one in that gully down in there, and maybe in the spring of the year there is one, but if there is, it's certainly all dried up now. So anyway, there's from where we've come. Just one quick scan around here. We're gonna have a nice break up here and eat something, enjoy that breeze, and head on down to Mystic Lake. As if we needed a reminder, we're heading back into Bearland. We're heading back basically to the same area we started the hike now. We're actually going to Mystic Valley tonight. We stayed at Mystic Junction the first night. They're basically, I mean, realistically, less than a couple kilometers apart. So, and if you recall, if you've been with us the whole video, the first day was like 20 piles of bear poop. Even in Coxcomb Camp, there was bear poop on a tent pad and by the bear hang, which is why tomorrow we're doing a 20K day, because, you know, we're not worried about the bears, but, you know, yuck. So, anyway. Doritos in the car.
Shotgun. No! I was about to call it. Okay, there are people coming.
Whew, this area is dead. Some of it may be coming back to life, but wow. Mountains are always surprising, that's for sure. We've just made our big left turn. Now we're heading down this valley toward the Mystic Lake campsite. Getting pretty close to the intersection. Look at this luxurious bridge, beautiful. Wow. Very nice. Trail intersection, as I promised, and another backward sign. They expect us to be hiking in the other direction. Excuse me. Yeah, Mystic Lake. Up this way. The Nat Geo map says half a kilometer from the campsite. Gaia GPS seems to show it as further, although Gaia, using the old National Research Council of Canada maps, which have to be Lord knows how old, 40 years,
Something like that.
they're so off on this trail. We were nowhere near what they marked as a trail.
Yeah,
So
our trail that we were on was like
yeah.
very well worn.
As I mentioned before, Gaia has an agreement now with Nat Geo to get their maps on, and we use them in certain places, but they've yet to prioritize the Rockies, which is, you know, odd, but, you know, there's a lot of trails on those maps, so I understand it takes time. But anyway, we're going to go into camp and get set up and have a snack. We'll show you around. Well, we're coming into another backward sign.
This campsite, number one.
There's a tent pad there. Let's have a look at the map. All right, let's have a peek. Yes, there are 3 tent pads over there. There are 2 by the river. The Bear Hang is in another province over here, across the creek, and the outhouse is in the middle of the tent pad. So we're going to go over here and scout out all 5 of these if they're not occupied, and set up camp. Then we'll show you around. Look at this. Now there are lots of commercial horse folks out here and wardens. I mean, we saw this at Block Lakes as well. This is, I'm just gonna be honest, this is disgusting. If you let your horse do this in a campsite, I mean, there's a tent pad right there. You should clean it up.
Yeah, like you can't help the horse, but you.
No, the horse is gonna poo or it's gonna poo. I mean, whatever. But that's just, you're not a good horseman. Sorry.
It's just not nice.
Nope, it's not considerate whatsoever.
I think this one's good. Honest, it does look nice. Maybe the breeze will keep away the smell of the outhouse.
Maybe. Let's hope.
Right?
Well, we picked tent pad number 4. A little bit of a slant, but the girls made it fit, which is good. Just a little update here. We're going to have some company tonight at the other tent pads. We already showed you around up here. They put the outhouse right in the middle of the tent pads, and unfortunately, that could create some odors. So anyway, this is because we couldn't do North Boundary. We just figured out today that this is the 11th day out of 12 that we've been in the backcountry. We had one full day off in between the Brazeau Loop and this hike, which is of course our own modified Sawback Circuit. Do check out the Brazeau video if you haven't caught it yet, because the images are fantastic. So yeah, 11 out of 12 days so far, and we're going to hike out tomorrow 20 kilometers. That'll be 12 out of 13 days in the backcountry, and almost 180 kilometers total this summer in a 2-week period, which is almost equivalent to what the North Boundary Trail would have been. So we did get our workout in, that's for sure. Gonna head over a little bit later. You come up from our campsite, you go past the outhouse, intersect the trail, and then go down that way. You'll cross a bridge, and that will take you over to the food storage area. It's also the trail out of here in the morning. So I'll take the camera over. The folks that joined us tonight here a little while ago, if they're not over at the food area, then I'll give you a bit of tour there as well. Another gorgeous evening. I've come down from the main camping area that way and rejoined the main trail that we were on earlier today, going in our forward direction toward Mount Norquay. But all we do is cross this bridge, and as you can see over there, food storage and an eating area. So the girls will be over in a few minutes, and we're going to cook our dinner early because we have an early day tomorrow, earliest day of the trip, so we can do our 20k to the car. As I mentioned earlier in the video, we had Coxcomb booked just kind of in case we wanted to stop there. We always thought we might do a long day at the end, but you know, we saw the bear poop and everything right in the camp. I thought, maybe not the nicest place to stay. So anyway, coming up here. Hey, good, how you doing? Okay, stop to talk to that fellow we passed on the way. It took us a while to remember we passed each other, but anyway, food tables and food table actually, and then over here bear poles, fire pit. So there's your tour of Mystic Valley. I have to say, if I had to pick between Mystic Valley and Mystic Junction, I think I like Mystic Junction better. But I think this one's more popular because of the lake. So, all right, we're gonna have dinner and head back to the tent and rest and wrap it up for day number 6. Whew. Well, that's the end of day 6. We were into the Mystic.
Was that like the 6th time?
I don't know.
If I'm right about that,
That'd be funny.
I'm so happy.
Over Mystic Pass, nice view of Mystic Mountain and the Sawback Range as we look behind us. And now we're down here in Mystic Valley, near Mystic Junction, where we spent our first night on this trip. I think when we're finished this trip, it'll be almost 100 kilometers. So a little longer, yeah, a little longer than the usual Sawback Circuit because we did not commit at Moose Meadows. We committed at Mount Norquay. And we know that that's almost 17 kilometers, but we have to intersect that trail tomorrow from here, and we're thinking that's around 2.5-ish. So just under 20 kilometers tomorrow, mostly downhill to the car at Norquay at the Cascade Amphitheatre Trailhead. And we're going to get up wicked early, like going to hit the alarm here around 5:30 and get up and get going, because we'd like to get to the car and we have to drive back into Calgary to our hotel near the airport. And so lots to do, and that's about a 2-hour drive, I'd say, from the trailhead. So yeah, so pretty good day. Any thoughts, ladies?
It was just really hard.
It was really hard. It's very hot out here right now.
Hot.
It was approaching 30 Celsius today and even hotter in the forecast tomorrow.
Yep.
Well, okay, 28 Celsius or something like that.
Well, it's still approaching 30.
Yeah, tomorrow will be much hotter.
And that's around, what would you say in Fahrenheit?
Somewhere between 88 and 90, I'm thinking.
So really hot.
I'll flash it up there if I'm wrong. Yeah, so we're going to get up early and try to hike, 4 or 5 hours before noon. If we're on the trail at 7, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we're excited.
That gives us 5 hours on the trail before the sun gets too hot, and that should get us pretty close to the end. So, anyway, that's it. We're going to call it a night, and we'll see you in the morning. Morning. Well, it's day 7.
Wow.
We will be just under 100 kilometers on this modified Sawback when we finish today. So that's pretty cool.
What is it, around like 98?
Be 98 or 97. We'll add it up when we get to the trailhead. But we got an early start, as you can tell, because we're on the trail. A little dim when we woke up this morning, so no tent video. But we're already underway, and 19 to 20 kilometers to the car at Norquay, the Cascade Amphitheatre Trailhead. And
It's like 7:15.
yeah, 7:15 a.m. Pretty been a 2-hour drive to Calgary, so that's why we're trying to get moving here. Oh, okay. So trail's a bit rough this morning as we left Mystic Valley. We're gonna go intersect the trail that we came up on day 1. Should be around 2.5 kilometers of this sort of rough walking through roots and mud and rocks. And then as if you watch the first part of our video, the trail's pretty good as long as you avoid the piles of bear poop.
Yeah.
So we're underway. Hope you enjoyed the day as much as we do. There's our valley going down that way. We're almost to the junction up here, where we'll make a sharp right and head down toward Mount Norquay and Banff. Well, there's our intersection. We've come from Mystic Pass and Mystic Lake, and we're going this way to 40 Mile Creek. So, yeah.
An old sign right there.
Oh, let me see. I can't see it. Move up.
Just 2.1 mud.
Oh, yes, FM19. Yeah, so there's the secret entrance to Mystic Junction. Don't go that, if you're coming that way, people actually made that mistake we met the first night. Don't go this way. If you're going to Mystic Junction for some reason, at the sign, go up this way.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. This is cool, Mystic Lake Cabin. Beautiful. Always cool to see these backcountry cabins. So much history in the national parks out here. with both commercial horse cabins and patrol cabins. So, boy, you don't see many patrols anymore though. Not really. It'd be so fun to see a warden out here, but well, here it is. Made the cutoff.
Oh my gosh, this is it.
This is it. FM10 is Coxcomb, where we actually have a reservation for tonight, as do another party behind us. That's Horse Poop Central, Bear Scat Central. And now we're on this giant path on the way out. So I'm gonna walk for another 12, 13 minutes and have a break. That's yodeling. They don't even know that's what that's called.
Look at the toad.
Sun's finally starting to rise. Mount Lewis, and Mount Edith are still pretty hazed in by the wildfires and all that smoke. Which I can smell right now. It smells like a campfire. It's a shame. Seems every year out here something is burning, more than in the last few years than in recent memory in my lifetime. But maybe that's just my perspective. So, as we get older, we start to lose our memory. Girls have teased me a lot about my age on this hike because
You bring it up.
no, somebody actually, we'll tell the story later, but somebody made a comment that it was really amazing that someone of my age was out here on the trail. I'm 51. Let's just for the record, I don't think that's very old, but anyway.
Yeah, we were at my mom was getting us a hotel room at the Homewood Suites.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they were like, oh yes, we have a senior discount for anyone over 50.
Yeah. So apparently over 50 now, you can get a hotel discount.
Because you're a senior. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, anyway. I'd say we've hit the halfway point this morning. About 2 hours and 45 minutes to do nearly 10K. It's very fast for us, especially at the end of a long trip. This will be close to 100 kilometers when we're done. And as I mentioned, I think yesterday, if you look for our Brazo Loop video, which is already online, then that's during the same 2-week period that we've been out here in the Rockies. So we've probably done almost 180 kilometers in 13 days.
No, 12.
12 days with a day off in between, but okay, fine. Yeah, so as you know, also our replacement hikes for our planned North Boundary Trail in Jasper, which we were advised not to do the night before because wardens had gone through and had witnessed very high water levels at Blue Creek. So we could have gotten there and not been able to cross safely, and that kind of would have put a weird kind of twist on our hiking plans. So making our way past the Coxcomb campsite. We actually have a reservation for this campsite tonight, as does a party behind us that we met last night at Mystic Valley, but neither they nor we are going to stay here tonight because we're getting pretty close to the trailhead, so we just weren't sure how we'd feel, and it's always nice to have that backup campsite if you need it. When we came through, there was lots of bear scat in the campsite. That was pretty fresh. So not that we were worried about bears, and it doesn't cross my mind in that way, but it's just kind of yucky. So we decided to bypass this and make our way back to the car. We're standing right here. We had lunch over at the Bear Hang on day 1, privy, and then the tent pads are over here. We're heading that way. So if you do come in and stay at FM10, that's how it is set up along 40 Mile Creek. Bird number 3. Hello, sweetie.
Oh, it's fluffing its tail to us. Doesn't like us.
What you gonna do?
It's a pretty bird.
It is a pretty bird.
Is this one a male, do you think? Do you think the other ones were females and this one's a male?
Perhaps.
It looks more flashy. No,
With the color? Yeah,
It
look.
could be guarding its babies.
He's like giving us a good look.
Because it doesn't like us. Hi.
Well, it's the extent of our wildlife encounters, really.
Much, yeah.
Toads, birds, and
I came within like 4 meters of a deer.
enough squirrels to
Bye.
start an army of squirrels. All right. Taking a quick break, we thought we'd just quickly, if you're trip planning, go through the campsites that we stayed at and just kind of,
Right.
well, not even rate them, just talk about them. Obviously, we passed by Coxcomb twice. It's close to Trailhead, somewhere around 7K, so not a bad walk in or walk out.
Yeah.
Not a bad spot either, but we didn't like the bear poop there because it's kind of gross.
It's just not what we're looking for.
Yeah, so, and then first night we were at Mystic Junction, which I really liked. I liked it better than Mystic Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually a lot better than Mystic Valley, although both outhouses smelled into the tent pad area, just FYI.
If the wind's blowing, you'll smell it. But Mystic Valley is a lot more like close together.
Yeah.
Like, Mystic Junction's very
It's a
like
little
the
more
tent
spread
pads
out.
are really isolated. Yeah.
Yeah, so a little more privacy at Mystic Junction. Sawback Lake was probably my least favorite.
That was the second one.
The second one we were at, I know that's going to be surprising to some people. The tent pads are basically lined up in a row, so there's no privacy whatsoever.
The water's so far away. So far away.
No, it wasn't that far away. The eating area was far away.
It was all just spread
Good
out.
outhouse though.
It smelled like
very
flowers.
good outhouse. Yeah.
Like literally, I said to them I could have slept in there.
Then we went to Block Lakes Junction, past Flint's Park Warden's Cabin to Block Lakes Junction. I really liked that campsite. We had a great tent pad. I think it was number 1.
Yeah,
it was close to the water, which I really liked.
Like tent pads were all very far away.
Yeah. There are some tent pads there though that are almost unusable, so just FYI. And unfortunately for us, a warden or somebody had just gone through and let their horse poop all over the campground.
And it was like fresh
and it was
too.
very smelly.
Yeah.
That'll be part of my trip report to Banff.
Hey, Banff.
Also, then we went to Badger Pass Junction. My favorite night because we were alone.
Completely alone.
And listen, we've met great people on the trail. We really have this entire trip.
Hi everyone.
And we enjoy their company at night and stuff. But to have a night alone out there, and we did feel out there. Great views of meadows.
Saw some deer.
That was pretty awesome. Then we went to Larry's Camp, which is a 10 tent pad camp, and believe it or not, didn't feel like it. It's huge. No, it's laid out well.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It felt, you had some privacy and it was good.
But there was also some community there because you'd see tents everywhere and it was nice.
Tent pad number 10 has secret access to the water.
Yeah.
So
secret gateway.
Get number 10.
So does 9. And
then last night we were at Mystic Valley, which I've already talked about. Not my favorite. They've got the outhouse right in the middle and then a circle of tent pads around it, and it's an outhouse and they smell. And this one smelled.
Our nose was burning. Burning.
It's been very hot out here, and it's just
the way it is.
It's the way an outhouse is. So, so that's it. I mean, if you're looking for campsites, hope that helped a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, quick last thing.
Oh yeah.
The water levels were very low at Badger Pass Junction at the first kind of creeky area.
Yeah.
There might be people coming, so we're gonna hurry. Here's a tip, and if you know this, pardon me, but here's a tip. If you have low water, dig a hole. So what I did was I took a bunch of rocks out and a big pool filled up, and we were able to get our water out of that big pool. So if you come across a low running stream and you need water, find a way to make a hole. It'll eventually fill in and the dirt will settle down, and you'll be able to get all the water you need. So anyway, hope that helps. That was a long clip. Another landmark for us that we saw on the way in. Edith Pass to the left if you want to go up that way. And Mystic Lake Junction, whatever that says. It's a sign in need of replacing, wouldn't you say? Yeah. All right, let's go. Probably about 6K left of the car. Woohoo! You can tell this bridge was built for winter use as well, for cross-country skiing, because of this middle track. And they might also bring the horses across here as well. Pretty spot. Bear food. Well, this doesn't really show it, but we're in the middle of about an 800-meter climb out of 40-mile creek. Last little kick from the trail as we get up into the ski area. So, I don't know if you can see down there through these trees, but there's a real bee's nest, like the real deal, hanging off a branch. Could be bee, could be wasp, black wasp. But growing up in New Brunswick, we had those under our eaves sometimes. And I hate to say this, but I can remember my grandfather and my father going out at dusk and taking care of it. Because it's kind of dangerous to have around a dwelling, but that's neat. Real bee's nest down there. Very cool. Good eye, Olivia.
Thanks.
Well, looky here. We're back in the ski hill. Shouldn't be too far now out of the car. Mount Norquay. Just gonna walk across the ski slopes here. Make our way down to the parking lot. But look at the haze, my goodness.
That used to be all clear when we started.
Yeah, when we started, you could see, and you know, usually there's a huge view down that way. If you've been to Banff or skied Norquay, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it is gone. Be interesting to see later when we drive into Calgary whether the smoke is in the city or not. But my goodness, that's not good. Wow, so almost 97 kilometers for us on this sort of modified Sawback circuit. I can see why you would do it clockwise, and I can see why you would come in at Moose Meadows and see the ink pots, which we missed. But a really good workout for us, and it almost got us to the 180K when we add this to the Brazo we did last week. Almost got us to the 180K we would have done on the north boundary. So,
But I'm counting it. I'm saying 180.
all right, fine. So the big question is our little modified Sawback circuit. How's the hike? Who's first?
I'll go first.
All right, Livia.
I think me and Dad have the same rating. I'm gonna say like 7.5. Just because like it's not as beautiful as other hikes I've been on, and it was just some of it was like really boring, but other parts of it were like awesome. But at the same time, it was smoky, so that also puts in a factor because I sometimes have trouble breathing on high altitudes and stuff, and the smoke made it a little bit worse. But overall, it was pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, Ev.
I'd probably give it a 7. I think for the amount of work involved, and I said this on the Brazo loop, I said that the amount of work involved is like, it's good for the amount of payoff, but I think the amount of work involved for this is a little high for the amount of payoff that we got. Also, the campsites, I don't know, they weren't my favorite.
The outhouses.
But I mean, it's still, you're still in the mountains, and it really doesn't get, I mean, personally, doesn't get any better than mountain views and mountain passes. So, I mean, honestly, this one's still pretty good hike.
Yeah, 7.5, as Olivia said for me. I mean, they've said it all. We've been lucky enough to hike some spectacular mountain passes that linger in your brain for a very long time.
Set a standard, you know.
Yeah. So Badger Pass was awesome. Badger Pass was awesome. We came up the hard side of it, which made it a little less awesome. Mystic Pass was okay. Olivia liked Mystic Pass a lot.
It was nice.
It was fine.
It was easy.
Yeah. But when you compare it to Brazo or last year's North Molar Pass,
oh my gosh, no comparison.
it's hard.
I'm sorry,
I mean,
but
yeah. And you know, we could have done it in fewer days too to make it a bit easier, but we had the time because of that north boundary cancellation. So I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, trip planning, comments, whatever, just leave them in, down below, and we'll do our best to answer them. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and we're gonna go get a healthy snack after 7 days of